I wanted to ask you if you have a favorite theme, you know, I mean, aside of the Last of Us, the theme, you know, but or All Gone, Vanishing Grace, Beyond Desolation.
Do you have a favorite child?
No.
So yeah, I don't know.
They're all different, and I love them all.
Yeah, I don't like. I feel like you pull at one, like, you know, and the sweater falls apart. Like if you pull it, like
It's
pick at one.
absolutely true, and that's why also, like some themes kind of like connect, you know,
Yeah.
with each other, and it's
like the main theme doesn't work without All Gone.
Correct.
And now my
Correct.
mind now doesn't work without the theme for part 2, and without like the Owen and Abby stuff, without the giraffe
Absolutely.
things. They're all like in my mind so interconnected and interweaved.
Is there a particular scene that connects with a special moment in your life? And you kind of said something at the beginning, you know, about the feeling that feeling of lying, you know, that you had, you know. But there's any other moment, perhaps when you were older or something.
It's interesting. So much of writing is engineering, and it sounds kind of cold and calculated, but it's like I put so much stock in structure. So I like looking at the whole story from a 30,000 foot view, mm-hmm. and seeing the mechanics and the movement of the characters and the themes. Mm-hmm. And then it's about, like, you know, knowing what those scenes are about, and then kind of moving and shifting and restructuring it. But sometimes there's certain instances where there's a process in writing that you just can't explain. It just kind of comes out of you. And I couldn't tell you exactly how it happened. So I always knew that Joel would kill this doctor that could make a cure. That was always part of the story. And again, to show how, like, a father would prioritize their own child over the rest of humanity. What I didn't know, and I was looking at this end scene that happens afterwards, and I'm like, what happens here? And in the engineering of it, I didn't know. But when I sat down to write that scene, something just came out of me, which was like this lie. That Ellie would confront Joel about what actually happened, and he would swear to her face and completely lie to her. And that is something that I've struggled with in my life, that there's moments in my life where, you know, I mentioned this dog that I grew up with in Israel. When that dog died, my parents didn't tell me. They told me he's okay, he's at the vet, and they're trying to ease me into it. And what happened was my neighbor called me, and he's like, I'm sorry about your dog. And again, I'm like 9 years old at the time, and I was so traumatized. I went to bed and I slept for 48 hours. My mom tells me. I don't even remember any of this, but my mom told me I just slept for 48 hours. And I really struggled that they didn't tell me the truth. And then when we moved to the United States, they didn't tell me, because again, they're trying to protect me. And then all of a sudden I found out we're staying, and it was traumatizing. It was a shock to the system. I didn't say bye to my friend. I don't speak the language. This is such a different culture. I had a year of depression after that. That same year, again, like a lot of difficult things happened. My aunt passed away, which was the first kind of family member where I had to really deal with death of someone I was close to, and they didn't tell me immediately about it. So all these like kind of lies, and it just felt like, I know they were trying to do the right thing, but for me it wasn't the right thing.
Correct.
And on a subconscious level, it just came out of me, and that scene happened, and it really fell into place, and it was like I think the first draft, and I just felt like, this is it. I can't tell you why, but this is the ending. So the ending comes to mind, to answer your question.
Fantastic. Yeah. And what a strong feeling and a strong presence. And did that happen again in your in your life? Did you have another event where a situation like that repeats? You know how sometimes there are things that repeat in life in a different scenario, and you go, this is exactly what happened with my parents. And
well, it's interesting. We always talk about raising kids.
Yes.
You try to avoid traumatizing them in the way that your parents traumatized you.
Correct.
And in doing so, you traumatize them in a different way.
Absolutely, because there is no way that you as a parent you don't traumatize your kids.
So, when my daughter was like, I think maybe 3 years old, something very young, we watched Finding Nemo. Which is also interesting, it's one of my favorite movies. It's about a parent protecting a child. Absolutely, a lot of themes that I'm very much drawn to. But the opening happens, and this barracuda eats the mom. But my daughter is, again, 3. She doesn't understand. She's like, wait, where's the mom? She was confused. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to do what my parents did. I'm going to be one of those cool dads that just tells her how it is, even at this very young age. And I say to her, the barracuda ate the mom died. And she freaks out. She starts crying hysterically. We had to turn the movie off. She couldn't watch movies for a year after that. And it just, again,
I was waiting for, why did you tell me?
Yeah, well, in that instance, I should have either lied or protected or not watched Finding Nemo with a 3-year-old, because Finding Nemo is really devastating. Again, it just shows, like, again, sometimes the best intentions, what was it saying, the road to hell is paved with good intentions.